die and get you another person. He is a SS Gestapo colonel. That's who built your Saturn V engines at NASA, y'all. Interesting story. Operation Paperclip. You ever heard of it? Think of this for a minute. Yo, you ain't even begun to get caught up on that bill. Imagine this. They brought these German scientists in from Germany, and we got 125 of them, and the other half, almost even split, 120 went to Soviet Union. The superpowers space programs began simultaneously, fed by this one group on the planet, these German rocket scientists. So you have all these German, blonde hair, white hair, blue eyes, German accent. You bring them into America across the Mexican border carrying Mexican green cards. You're a Mexican, and that's right. So anyway, you put them out in a remote area in Quonset huts in a desert called White Sands, New Mexico. And that's how the space program got started. The President of the United States in no way is going to carry a war-weary nation that's just endured a war that killed over 50 million people worldwide, that you just brought in the scientists that built the super weapons. Oh, sure, you're going to tell them that. So the space program starts off in a secret. So anyhow, Rudolph comes off the plane. He walks right over to me, and I asked him, "Hi, who might you be?" He goes, "My name is Henry Wilkerson," with this German accent. And I'm going, I don't think this guy looks like Henry. I know exactly who he is. So he's not telling me the truth. And then he says, or I asked him, what do you do? He goes, I look at things for friends of mine, little projects. I went, oh, okay. So he said, I understand you have a rocket. I want to take a look at it. I said, do you know anything about rocket engines? He goes, a little bit. I went, yeah, you lying dog. Anyway, so we get over to the engine. He's on one side of the rocket. I'm on the other. We're right across from each other, and I slide these panel doors back open. And there's this thing. It's the twin cyclotrons. Imagine two octopuses having sex. Two big round things and all this massive stuff in between. That's what the engine looks like. Okay, simple way to describe it. He looks down at that, and he's got his head down there. So I just lean my head right over into his ear, and I go, in proportional size, this engine has 10,000 times the power of the F1 Saturn V engines of this Apollo moon rocket, Dr. Rudolph. So he jumps up, man. He's just bone white. He's looking at me. He goes, "Who are you?" I go, "I'm just a kid that launches rockets in Ohio and cow fields." So I didn't talk to him anymore after that. The Air Force came in. We moved the rocket to the pad. The thing's prepped. We're now ready to launch this thing. Well, it takes off. I don't know. Do you want to hear the detailed description of the launch? Okay. This thing is sitting 12 miles away on a pad. And I was thinking to myself, 12 miles. If this force field and the systems don't work correctly, we're going to be staring at a thermal hydrogen fusion reaction, and a chunk of the sun will be setting 12 miles away from us. And I thought, 12 miles, maybe 2 nanoseconds, and it's all over with. It won't matter. There'll be a flash, it won't matter. So the colonel's standing next to me, and this thing's getting ready to start, and he asked me, he said, "Have you tested this engine?" And I turned around to him, "How am I going to test an engine like this in a cow field, for God's sake?" Now, this guy's good in propulsion. He's going, "You haven't done a test?" "No, I've ran models, mathematical models and stuff, and it should work." He goes, "That's a first generation of prototype sitting there?" I said, "Yeah." "We're in a countdown in 30 seconds? I went, "Yeah." He's looking, I said, "Look, how many people are on this base?" And he goes, "Oh, God. I just want to know how many lives we're going to take out if it doesn't work." And I said, Colonel Walter, don't worry about it. I tell you what, when the thing detonates out there, see this big white wall behind us? Let's jump up and do this. and we'll make the neatest looking shadow you've ever seen as we are vaporized by the blast. He didn't find that very humorous. Couldn't take a joke. So anyway, hey, the Colonel was okay though. So anyhow, this thing preps up and the engines engage, and now we're in ignition sequence, and it detonates. It leaves. All right, I don't even know if that's a proper word for it. Have you ever tried to see a rifle bullet leave a barrel? That's how fast the rocket left. We never saw it. What we did see at the pad was all these flames roaring out, and it's just huge fireballs, and then it went from red to kind of a bluish, then it got kind of a clear, and then this next thing happened. You ever seen a welder's arc? So bright you can't look at it. This gigantic welder's arc just flashed, and this white tornado thing appeared instantly, and then this big blast concussion wave is coming out of the pad area, coming across the desert floor at us. And it's moving, and the Colonel sees that, and he goes, oh, God, and he hits this red button, the alarms go off the base. People turn around and look, and they grab hold of things like trucks. And the blast wave, I'm looking out the window of the bunker and going, God. So all these people look like flags in the wind. Like that. That lets up, okay? But then the Colonel goes, what's that? And I went, I have no idea. It's like a white tornado, but it goes all the way to infinity. And I started thinking about what I was seeing, and I knew what happened. Pissalem had left so fast that she ripped a hole in the Earth's atmosphere from the launch pad to space. Like you're looking through a soda straw, that launch pad is looking at the total vacuum of space. Guess what it does? There goes the launch pad, the towers, little equipment, everything that's not nailed down or bolted about 20 feet to the ground is going up in this white tornado. The vacuum of space is like a soda straw. It's going and it's just sucking everything up. And that's when the Colonel said, what is that? And I go, I think it's a vacuum vortex, you know. And he goes, what's that? And I said, never mind about that. It's what's going to happen next that you're going to worry about. By that time, the Colonel's already going, oh, God. And he's looking out there. See, Mother Nature abhors the vacuum. She will slam shut. So just like you hit a little mosquito, ow, you know, Mother Nature slams the atmosphere closed. It will slam at the least point of resistance, the upper atmospheres. So it's closing quickly, and it's like you're running your tubes around a toothpaste